charge point that compared to my parents, actually, fairly close to my parents. I estimate about a 5 or 10 minute walk. As you know, I'm gonna take my car down here in another few months. Hopefully now in probably May, I'd say. Perhaps a little bit later. But yeah, so I don't have a granny cable, so I can't hook into a socket. So I'm going to have to make use of public charge points. Now thankfully there is what I hope is a 22 kilowatt point, but at least an 11 kilowatt point, just about 5 minutes away from my parents, maybe a bit more, like I said, maybe 10 minutes. Now the difference between this one and the ones in Ireland is that over here you pay. There's quite a bit of a difference between what you pay for the charge points. You can have, some of them are as cheap as 25 cents per kilowatt, some of them are all the way up to 70, depending on the power output. But anyway, I'll talk to you guys when I'm down there. Bye. Well, here we are. Charging for electric vehicles. That's what it says. Now, so it's a DBT charger. Blah 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 blah. That's be straightforward. ALAT is the manager thing. 2 type 2 points. Awesome. No markings on the ground. Just a sign. I've yet to actually see this spot being used, to be honest. So yeah, it's nice. So this will be my home charge point, really. Just see, I just walked from my parents and it took me 7 minutes. So yeah, it's literally 5 minutes away from my mum and dad. That's excellent. That is excellent. Alright, so that's that particular worry gone. I must have another peek and see what else is available around this city. There's about a half a dozen charge points of various providers and various different outputs. I do believe there's one on the industrial estate a little while, I'd say probably about 2 or 3 kilometers away from this. That is also 25 cents per kilowatt, but it doesn't have a starter charge. This actually has a starter charge. So you pay a fixed amount to start the charge on top of your actual kilowatt tariff. I've also seen chargers that actually have a per minute or per hour charge on top of it as well, to try and prevent people from hogging the spot all day. Quite effective, I would imagine. I'm not entirely sure whether people would actually then buy an electric car in Ireland, considering they actually are not saving any money. But over here, most of the people actually buy an electric car for the eco aspect, as well as the fact that it's actually cheaper, or at least equivalent in their running. Right, I'm going to walk back home. Bye. I'm here on, it's an industrial estate actually. It's in front of Quick Fit. There's a charge point here, 3-phase 22 kilowatt if I'm not mistaken, and there's another one across the way, the white van just parked in front of it there. Don't know if you can see it on the wall over there. So there's 22 kilowatt points here. Now if I'm not mistaken, these are 25 cents per kilowatt and absolutely no starter charge or anything like that. So out of all the points, these are the fastest and the cheapest. Now they're not really in an area where you'd want to stop for an hour, and in saying that, there's a few sort of garden centres across the way. There's a McDonald's, which of course you don't want to spend an hour at either, but this will be good for a top up. So it's good to know. I'm gonna go and have a browse around here and see if I can find any more. If I'm not mistaken, there's another one in the brown building across the way as well. So let's go over there and have a peek. Don't know if you can see it behind me, but there's a lovely green Chevrolet Volt charging. It had a granny cable. Actually plugged into the wall. It was a nice wall socket. That particular company is a green energy company, as you can tell obviously by the colour. And so they've got themselves a nice Chevrolet Volt, or Opel Ampere if you want to look at that. They're nearly the same car, slightly different but nearly the same car. Right, I'll continue my wander. Right, I've continued my walk. I actually couldn't find the other charge point. I must have a closer look at the map, but I'm about to walk into the city. You can see that behind me. This area is rather new to town, Waterloo. At this stage it'll be about 7-8 years old, I'd say. But it's a lovely quiet area. In this weather it's a bit frosty. Well, it's not frosty, it's about 1 or 2 degrees at the moment. But it's lovely to be walking here along the river, and look behind me there. The swans and everything. It's absolutely beautiful. But I'm on my way to another charge point, which is right behind the theatre. Again, a 22 kilowatt point. I do believe this one is a starter price, but we're going to check it out anyway. It's actually in front of the main theatre and just around the corner of the main shopping area in this town. Same unit as I showed earlier. Now, anybody with confusion, notice the P. Notice the symbol in the bottom right. It's a paid parking area, just for charging for electric vehicles. No qualms, no nothing. One sign, no need for markings on the floor. That's all it takes, people. It can't be that difficult. And as you notice, plenty of cars parked around, none parked in the electric car charge point. Plain, simple, very effective solution. Either that, or maybe people here are just more in tune. Yeah, that's all it takes. Just a P with a little payment symbol in the bottom right, and everybody knows that you have to pay to park here. Excellent. Now, I think I'm going to head on home. I couldn't actually not show you these guys. I'm down in the parking garage underneath City Hall, and there's 4 charge points here. I'm going to assume they're 3 kilowatts. I'm not entirely sure. Again, not iced, clearly marked. Mode 3. No, it doesn't actually say. Just put the cable in. Press the button to start. So, there we go, there's the button to start. Alright, well, that's good. Plenty choice. Awesome! My first Zoe in the wilds. I actually got it on tape. Brilliant. Hello everyone. We're back in Ireland, as you saw. I arrived at the car with 98% left after leaving it the last time with 100, so it didn't really drop. I made it all the ways to Portlaoise. Now this is a charger which has caused me issues in the past. So far so good, so fingers crossed. I didn't charge in junction 14 at the very reliable 22 kilowatt based on the fact that if this works the way it should, it would cut my charge time in half. Now, as of yesterday, I actually didn't check it this morning, I probably should have. As of yesterday, the charger in Cashel and Cahir are both out of operation, so between Fermoy and Erlingford there's nothing. So even if I manage to get a full charge here, I'll still have to stop in Erlingford to actually top up in order to actually make it home, because it's about 100 to 110 kilometers to actually get home. So I will need as much as I can get my hands on. Now, I'm not entirely sure how far it was from the hotel to here. I'll calculate it when I'm home. I'll put it up on the screen now. It did that quite well. I did 100 kilometers an hour. I had my usual setting, temperature at 20, airflow up, airflow to me, no air conditioning, second thing, and no eco mode, no nothing. And I got here just fine. So I'm very, very happy with that. I think my average consumption is about 15.5, which I think is quite good. Okay, I'm gonna leave this charge, and I will let you know if there is any problems. I'm hoping there won't be. Bye. Now, let's see, we are still charging. And 95%, excellent. So it did actually work. I think this is the first time I've actually gotten a proper charge from it. Great, on to Erlingford. So now here we go, 44 minutes, 25 kilowatts nearly. So I'll stop that now. Now then I just need the key. I always forget this. And you'll be sitting in the car. No. 2 green lights. Excellent. Right, on to Erlingford, as I said. Now, Erlingford. The Last Chance Saloon. Well, more or less. 35 minutes till full. I'd say we'll probably give it that, because I need every single ounce of electricity I can get. I can either make a swing by Fermoy if I want to, I suppose, but I don't really want to. I just want to go home. So yeah, I just want to go home. So I will just charge the full and head on home. Okay, 97%, 12 kilowatts put in. Time to stop it and head on home. Now we're in Kildare. Really funny, there's 38 kilometers range left, 21 kilometers till home. Now, the funny thing is that when I finished charging in Erlingford, it said, I think it was 108 kilometers to home and 107 on the range. There was no way, according to SatNav, that I'd make it. Now, 21 kilometers from home, I have approximately double the distance needed to actually get there. I have a buffer of about 20 kilometers. It just goes to show that as good as the predicted range is, it's not necessarily 100% accurate. It's based on previous driving, which means if you've done an awful lot of motorway driving, like I did, and you go off the motorway, all of a sudden your range goes up dramatically. It only started to really increase approximately 15 kilometers ago. actually no, a little bit less, about 10 kilometers ago, and it stuck at the same number for about 10 kilometers. So it was really, really funny to see. Anyway, we are approximately 20 minutes from home, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's been a long, long day. Bye. Now, good evening. 8%. We are back home. We actually have been at home for a little while. We did some shopping downtown. We picked up our dog from the dog minder, and we're just back home. So I have 9 kilometers left, estimate range 8%, with extra trips. So actually I made it home quite easily. See the trip report. So we have a distance of nearly 500, 28 and a half, 16.4, which is quite a good average, with an average speed of 68.4. Now that was a little bit higher when we actually arrived home, but because I've been doing some driving around town, it dropped obviously. Now, 87 kilowatt used, and only 3 kilowatts generated. That's because there wasn't a lot of braking in motorway driving. All in all, a very, very successful trip up and down. It was nice to actually get a charge in Urlingford. It was nice to actually get a charge in Portlaoise. And no complaints. It was a little awkward driving home from Urlingford, because I did have to slow down a little. I think average wise I probably dropped the speed down to around 90 to 95 instead of my usual probably 100 to 105, but that wouldn't make too much of a difference over that distance. The total trip, on the way back I had no failures other than unlike the way in. Cashel is apparently still out. Now I actually did not test it, so it may well be working. I just actually didn't test it. But we are home. I am gonna plug her in, and then I am going to go inside, have a cup of tea, and go to bed. Good night. Here we go. 7,000 kilometers. Just happened to see it when I was pulling away at work. 7,100% electric kilometers, and only the start of many more to come.